So as many of you guys have seen, Pusha T has dissed Travis Scott yesterday on his newest song called So Be It, right? Randomly, Pusha T comes out of nowhere, releases a new song, calls out Travis Scott, has a lot of words for Travis Scott, then goes on a podcast, doubles if not triples down on his word, and it seems like the Pusha T versus Travis Scott beef has just started, so let's get into it. So like I said earlier, Pusha T released his newest song called So Be It, and he dissed Travis Scott out the blue. I don't think anybody was expecting waking up yesterday thinking maybe Pusha T or some major huge rapper is gonna diss Travis Scott, right? We've never really seen Travis Scott really get called out like this. And if you guys haven't seen, this is the diss right here from Pusha T.
Smoke.
And I'm not gonna lie, the song's fire. I do enjoy the song. The video is even crazier in my opinion. But this is a good song.
So be it. You cried in front of me. You died in front of me. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Her Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat. The net gon' call it the way that they see it, but I got the video I can share in AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it. So be it. So be it.
This is culturally inappropriate.
Yeah, that's what he said right there. He said, cried in front of me, Calabasas took your girl and your pride in front of me, right? So basically he's talking about, I guess, him and Travis Scott had this moment when Travis and Kylie broke up. He said Travis Scott was like kind of crying on his shoulder, boom, boom, boom. And turns out Pusha T has a video of it, right? So he said, cried in front of me, Calabasas took your girl and your pride in front of me. Her Utopia had moved right up the street and her lip gloss was popping, she ain't need you to eat. So basically he's trying to say his baby mom was more lit than Travis Scott. She dumped him. Travis Scott was crying, ran to Pusha T, was crying on Pusha T's shoulder. He has the video of it and he can TMZ it if you want it. Maybe I believe
She ain't need you to eat. The net gon' call it the way that they see it, but I got the video I can share in AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it.
He said, I have the video, I can AE it. You're lucky I didn't let them see it, but I have the video, I can TMZ it. So basically, he has dirt on Travis Scott in like a vulnerable state when Travis Scott pretty much got dumped or when their relationship concluded. I'm not gonna lie, that's a slimy move, Pusha. That's a slimy move, bro. That's so messed up in my opinion. Then, right, we thought that was bad. We're like, okay, he dissed them, right, about his baby mom and him crying, yeah, boom, boom, boom. But then this dude, Pusha T, goes on a podcast and triples down on his diss, saying Pusha T doubles down on his diss. It's Travis. He's harmless. I took it there. He's shameless. You've seen him do it to everybody.
He's shameless. All came from actually being in Paris. So be it. So be it. So be it. So came through carrying the, the Utopia briefcase.
Right. Yep.
Doing his whole
when Utopia was about to drop
spiel. He comes, he interrupts the session. The next day, the meltdown verse or whatever comes on.
I melt down and change that I bought from the
that's
boss.
crazy. So basically Pusha T is like, yo, I was in the studio with Pharrell in Paris. Travis randomly pulls up, interrupts our studio session, wants to play his album, plays them Utopia front to back, Pharrell, Pusha T, everybody's in the studio, right? Obviously, we do know on Utopia, there's a Drake verse on the track, and obviously we know Drake had dissed Pharrell. So how does Travis pull up on Pharrell, interrupts the whole studio session, plays them Utopia, but there was no Drake verse on there, right? And then the next day they hear the Drake verse where he disses Pharrell when Travis was just in the studio with them like 24 hours prior, right? Now I would say to come to Travis's defense, we do know that Drake is one to really send verses very, very late, like barely at the deadline, right? We seen him do it with Sicko Mode at the Astroworld documentary, right? Travis was just like waiting for that Drake verse all day. Obviously, it was days leading up to the release. Same thing happened with Utopia on Meltdown, right? But also it is kind of slimy on Travis Scott's end to be in the studio and now Drake had dissed the dude you were in the studio with not even like 24 hours prior, right? This is what he said right here. I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss, give a F about all that heritage stuff. Since V not around, Virgil, the members done hung up all the Louis, they not even wearing it. Basically saying like, yo, I bought Pharrell's chains and it's basically an FU. I burned them. Then Drake was like, yeah, he replaced Virgil at Louis V, but ain't nobody wearing it because it's mid. That's basically what he's saying, which is crazy because Travis was just in the studio playing the album. So I see both sides of it, but I don't know, man. I feel like it's kind of more slimy on Travis's end because this is also not the first time that this has happened, right? Obviously, like we said earlier, Sicko Mode where he dissed Ye, right? So on Astroworld, Drake disses Ye, right? Then the next album, on Utopia, Drake had dissed Pharrell. Back-to-back albums, Drake disses one of like Travis Scott's boys, right? So I feel like Pusha T's at a point to where like, yo, what side you on, bro? You're kind of like flip-floppy, you know, you're in the studio with us. Next day, there's a verse on your album dissing me and the gang. Then we go back to the last album, and he dissed Ye on that record, right? So I see both sides. Well, low-key, I'm kind of leaning more towards the Pusha
Belt and a chains that I bought from your
and
boss.
then there's more towards
Travis Scott talking about melting Pharrell's jewelry.
and
Yeah,
all of that.
on
That
Meltdown.
was a corny, like, you shouldn't have been here anyway. Him specifically, too. I don't take it as personal.
Yo, you know he's
Been here
pissed on the way he said specifically.
anyway. Him specifically, too. I don't
You know he meant that, right?
take it as personal as I should. It's Travis.
Then he said, it's
He's
Travis,
harmless.
he's
I'm
harmless.
not into what his whole
Damn,
makeup.
bruh.
I
As a dude, if you get called harmless, you gotta feel some type of weight, bro.
I took it there. And then to like, you know, to come back in our fold.
To make a point of...
Yeah, to invade the fold and then, you know, do all that he did. It was like, man, I was corny. He's shameless. He does it. You've seen him do it to everybody, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like Pusha T has kind of had this like built up anger, or not even anger, but really just kind of like, okay, Travis did this, that's strike one, that's strike two. Okay, he's kind of like tiptoeing around the camp. He's with us one day, then the next day somebody's dissing us on his album. Like, you know, where do you stand, Travis? Like, where's your loyalty? I feel like that's really like the underlying meaning. Pusha T really wants to know and is kind of fed up with Travis.
I've definitely had to put my hand on your shoulder before. You died in front of me. You cried in front of me.
Damn.
Cried in front of me, you died in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
I had to help you. People take that type of shit for granted. I don't take that for granted. So be it.
So basically that was Pusha T like doubling, tripling down on his diss, right? He brought up the Sicko Mode. He was like, okay, Drake dissed Ye on that. Obviously Pusha T and Ye are close like this. Obviously there is no Travis Scott with Ye. We've seen Travis say that a million times, right? Then obviously we know how big Pharrell is involved within that camp. We got Drake dissing Pharrell and Drake on back-to-back albums. You know, what's up with that, right? And then this is the clip of Travis Scott, you know, showing Pharrell and everybody the album at the LV HQ in Paris. There's no volume to it, but this is the clip right here of what he was talking about in this one right here. And then it seems like the industry, I don't know if this is like the genesis, the start of the great rap war in 2025. We seen 2024 Kendrick versus Drake. You had to pick a side, right? We seen the great divide, the great rap war of 2024, right? Could this be the genesis? Because it seems like maybe I might be pulling narratives, but as you guys can see right here, it says A$AP Rocky and Mike Dean have liked the Pusha T diss towards Travis Scott. Tyler, the creator, also reposted the song, right? Liked by Mike Dean, A$AP Rocky, Tyler, the creator, on his story right here. So they all seen the Travis Scott diss. They all know about it. And they specifically, publicly co-signed it, right? Are we thinking too deep? I don't really know, but that's something to really keep an eye on, right? This is crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Out of nowhere, Travis Scott had gotten dissed, right? And then also Pusha T was like, yo, he's shameless, he's grimy. He's done this to everybody, right? Because he let Drake diss both of his boys, Pharrell and Ye, on back-to-back albums, right? And then we go back to 2024 when Future and Metro were at Rolling Loud, right? They were teasing their upcoming album, right? Nobody had any clue of the Drake diss. Nobody knew that was even a thing. Nobody knew both of them were plotting, right? Nobody had any clue. But Travis goes on stage begging and kind of egging on Future and Metro. Yo, play that. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Y'all remember this clip right here, right? Now we obviously know why Travis Scott was kind of hinting at that, because he knew this was like the bomb to drop, right?
Please, bro.
And then he's like, please, bro. And Metro and Future are like, I don't know about it. I don't know if it's time yet. Right? But to also play to Travis Scott's defense, a lot of people have said that during this time that Rolling Loud was going on, I believe it was like March of 2024, Kendrick Lamar didn't even have a verse on the record, right? So maybe Travis Scott was just kind of hyping it up because he thought the record was hard, the beat was dope, maybe Future had a cool verse. But a lot of people had said at this time the Kendrick Lamar verse wasn't even in existence, right? I've seen a lot of comments towards that, and then if you just search it up on Google, probably not credible, but they said specifically around the song's release being around May. So probably after Rolling Loud is when Kendrick hopped on the song. So I feel like it's kind of the same thing with this, right? He previews the album to Pharrell, right? He obviously plays Meltdown, but there's no Drake verse to be found because it was yet to be recorded, right? But then again, he releases the record with the Pharrell diss on there. Then obviously we've seen what he did on Sicko Mode. So let me know what you guys think. Is this the start, the like genesis of the great rap war within 2025, right? We've seen some artists kind of publicly co-sign it via likes and retweets. A$AP Rocky, Mike Dean alongside Tyler. Are we looking too deep? And also, what do you think comes next from this, right? Does Travis Scott respond? Or does Travis Scott just keep going on with what he's been doing, right? Travis Scott just keeps walking like nothing ever happened. I'm not gonna lie, he low-key should respond, right? Because he's talking about he's got evidence on him. He's calling him shameless. He's calling him weak. He's saying this, and that about Travis Scott, right? He's saying a lot of stuff about Travis. I'm not gonna lie. We've never really seen Travis just get publicly disliked it and somebody stamp on it, right? So does Travis Scott respond? Obviously we do know Jack Boys 2 is on the way and they're currently working on the project. Is it done? Nobody really knows, right? So does Travis Scott see this, get in the booth, record a verse, drop it on Jack Boys 2, and that's his response? Or he can drop the same day Pusha T drops and kind of just be like, yeah, Pusha T drop, but look at my album. It's basically like a power move, a big FU, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, because this is getting juicy, right? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Money Mayor is it, and I'm out. Thank you guys.